All right, and now we will move on to the NBA and the Pistons. We've got a little bit of breaking news. The Pistons have played 2 preseason games so far against the Knicks. We will get into that in just a second. But first up, one thing we want to talk about, we are hosting a fantasy basketball league. Anyone is welcome to join. It's just going to be a standard season-long scoring, put in different players every day. Whoever has the highest points at the end wins. We're not doing a head-to-head in the basketball. Personally, I don't really like that system. I think it works better with football, but basketball, I think you just, with them playing every day, different players, I think it's better just plugging them in, plugging your best players in, and whoever has the most points at the end of the season wins. So again, we'll put the link in the description for the video. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome to. I think it's 10 players max right now. If we get more than that, we might end up increasing the size, but as of right now, it's just 10. So feel free to click that link if you want. Also, one other breaking news. Giannis Antetokounmpo signed a max $228 million Supermax extension. I know this isn't really Pistons news, but it is crazy. A lot of people thought he'd be leaving Milwaukee, and now it looks like he's going to be there for at least the next 5 years, unless he somehow demands a trade and requests out of there. But Dalton,
It's going to be hard to trade that contract.
yeah, we don't know the specifics of it. There might be like a player option somewhere 3 years down the road. I don't know if you remember this, Dalton, but you told me about some conspiracy theory with the NBA and how they're going to be running these championships the next few years. I forget what you say? Is the Lakers this year, then the Bucks next year, and then the Clippers the following year, which also makes sense because didn't Paul George just sign so it all makes sense. It's all lining up for, let's see if that happens. I'm not calling it right now, but I'm just saying, yeah, again, that's all lining up. That's just kind of fun. We're not really conspiracy theorists around here, but I just think that's kind of funny and how that's lining up. But yeah, Giannis, is that the highest? That's not the highest contract in the NBA, is it? Yeah, so the specifics of the contract are yet unknown. Like I said, so we know there's an player option after the 4th year. So if he wants, he can choose to leave the Bucks. But as of right now, he is solidified in Milwaukee for the next 3 to 4 years. But yeah, as I mentioned, the Pistons have played 2 preseason games. They played the New York Knicks last week, and the first game they lost. They didn't really look too well. But again, what could you expect? We said that it's going to take a little bit of time for them to gel. We have so many young players and just a few veterans that it's going to take them to get used to.
And it's basically all new. The only players on our roster that were there last year are Blake Griffin, D Rose, and Ski Mikhailuk.
Mm-hmm. And Sekou Demboya.
Oh yeah, Sekou. Yeah, I forgot about Sekou.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's going to take, and they're all young. They're still going to take time to get used to the NBA speed and all that. So it's going to take time to gel. But yeah, the first game, they did not look very well. Jeremiah Grant, he went 1 for 11. And just the 3-point, I think we had a 30% 3-point shooting on the night. We just did not look good. The next game, though, we did win. We won 99-91. And team did look better. Killian Hayes still is a little rusty, but his chemistry with Blake Griffin does seem to be going along very smoothly.
And what I have to say is, yes, looking at the stat, Killian Hayes does not look good. But actually watching the games, you see all Killian Hayes, all shots that he took were all smart shots. Not forced, not dumb shots. They were all smart shots. His defense looks amazing. His basketball IQ is amazing.
Yeah, his court vision is very well.
He's got great chemistry with Blake Griffin already. He's young. It's his second preseason game in the NBA. Let him develop. Give him time, people. Like, all these people that are, like, dogging him. Like, yes, he was the 7th overall pick by us, but it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It is preseason, and he didn't have all the extra normal time that you have before the season starts. The draft was 2 weeks ago, and now we're already in preseason.
Yeah, it really frustrates me, all the people who call someone a bust after one preseason game. This isn't even official. This doesn't even count, and people are calling him a bust. Like you said, give him time. The kid's 19 years old. Again, he did play professionally overseas, but the NBA speed is completely different than overseas. That's what we've talked about. The Euro style is a little bit different than NBA style basketball. Still, he's going to take time to develop, and again, as you just mentioned, you can definitely see the potential in Killian Hayes. He's a great young kid. He's very smart, and his court IQ and court vision seems to be great. It's just, and personally, a couple of those 3-pointers, like he did a couple pick and rolls with Blake, and a few of them were kind of questionable. I think he's just trying to get shots off, look good. But yes, he's looking good. Again, give him more time. He'll get better. Dwayne Casey will coach him to get better shots and which shots to take and everything. But somebody else who's looking good is Jahlil Okafor. He's playing about around 20 minutes a game, and He's not looking like an Andre Drummond type center, but I think him and Mason Plumlee are two decent centers that we can rotate in and out. They're both kind of splitting playing time right now, but again, I think if he's looking good in the first 2 preseason games, he hasn't scored a lot of points, but again, defensively and rebounds.
I really like Isaiah Stewart. He brings that intensity. Like, he's not the best scorer, but he just brings that intensity and like doesn't give up on the play and continues to fight through it. Sadiq Bey, he did really well the first game. He was our leading scorer the first game. Second game, he didn't do too hot, but again, he's a rookie too. He needs time to develop. I think he's gonna turn out to be a good. Honestly, I've noticed DeLon Wright's been starting at shooting guard, and basically Casey kind of wants him to play, which I don't necessarily like him at the starting shooting guard. I think Ski Mikhailuk needs to be our shooting guard because that's basically all the man can do is shoot.
Yeah, him and I think Ski Mikhailuk and Josh Jackson are both going to be splitting playing time, or one of them is going to end up taking over DeLon Wright for that starting shooting guard position. Because like you said, we need people who can shoot threes. And as of right now, it seems like Ski Mikhailuk and Josh Jackson, maybe Jeremiah Grant a little bit, but those seem to be the only players who can shoot threes on our team as of right now.
Another person that went off our second preseason game was Sekou Demboya coming off the bench.
Yeah, he went 8 for 11 with 23 points. He is looking good. I think, give him a few years and he's going to be an all-star power forward. It's just obviously, and that's another thing too. We talked about this and we predicted this on the last podcast, that no one is going to get 30, 40 minutes a game. Everyone's kind of literally just splitting time. Who the most playing time in the last game to win was Killian Hayes with 25 minutes, and then Derrick Rose got 18 minutes. So they're definitely splitting time almost evenly. Again, nobody is playing majority of the game. We don't have any superstar who is playing the most of the game. We're definitely splitting time with everyone to try and see and give everyone a fair chance.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Also, right now, preseason, it doesn't matter. So Dwayne Casey is trying to see everyone on the team get minutes and see how they play in the minutes they get.
Speaking of preseason, we did waive LiAngelo Ball. I've seen some people kind of upset about that. I don't understand why. He didn't play in any of the preseason games. The last one said it was due to a right ankle sprain, I think. So I'm not sure if he was actually injured and we waived him or what happened. I would have liked to actually see him a little bit just to see what he was able to do. But I guess we'll see if he's up on another team. I know LeVar Ball has already gone off and called the Pistons raggedy and said they're going to regret this, all this stuff. But there's also a reason he wasn't in the league up until this point. We'll see if he even lands on another team. The Pistons also waived Lewis King and Anthony Lamb. Lamb actually got to play for us last game. Yeah, they both played 3 to 4 minutes apiece. Not sure. We still have a lot of players on the team, so a lot of players are going to be getting cut here soon.
Also, a little just side note for the Pistons is we did opt out of the G League bubble. Most teams are in. The only teams that have opted out, I think, were like the Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, us, and I think the Clippers. Not 100% sure on that, but I definitely know that we opted out of the G League bubble, so we will not have a team in the G League this year. So I guess Dwayne Casey and Troy Weaver are like, let's just have our guys develop. And I know that we are getting a new team, a new G League team in 2021. So possibly they just were done with the Grand Rapids drive and just said, hey, we're not even just this season, we just won't have a G League team. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, so as of right now, it looks like that's probably why we have so many players on the roster, is because we don't have a G League squad to send them to or any.
But we do have players on two-way contracts, so that's like what I'm confused about.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look a little bit more into the whole G League situation and figure that out. But the next game for the Pistons is going to be the December 17th against the Wizards. We play 2 more games against them, who the Wizards also recently traded for Russell Westbrook. So we'll see how
John Wall away.
Yep. So we'll see how Westbrook and Bradley Beal do together. Yeah, we play the 17th and the 19th against the Wizards. Those are our next 2 games. And then we open the season on the 23rd against the Timberwolves. So we'll see. First game of the season that actually count. It'll be exciting. And we'll
big
probably
test for Jahlil Okafor and Mason Plumlee having to guard Cat.
Yep. It's going to be
and
exciting.
Killian Hayes for having to guard D'Lo.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to be a pretty good team, I think, this year. Maybe next episode we might do a little bit of predictions about the Pistons, maybe the East and the West. Maybe we'll see where they what we think, how the teams will play out, how the divisions will play out before the season starts. All right. Don't forget, if you want to join a fantasy basketball league, go ahead and the link will be in the description below. And not sure when the draft will be. Figure it out, I guess, once we
get people in.
Yeah, once we get people in, we'll figure it out before the season. We'll do the draft probably either night before the season starts, something like that, 21st, 20th, something like that. But yep, we'll figure it out.